Hey friends, it's Missy again. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm back with a new layout for the Hip Kit Club, and I'm using the 2018 November kits for today. And I'm going to be starting with one of the exclusive cut files for this month. And if it's not up on the Hip Kit website yet, it will be shortly. And it's this really cool, grateful, kind of a cascading design. And I'm going to scrap a couple of cute photos of my husband and our youngest daughter from the school's Thanksgiving dinner. They always invite the parents and the families to come have a Thanksgiving dinner with the kids at school. And this was actually, I think, about 4 years ago. And I printed them in color because the colors are pretty neutral. He's got on a navy blue jacket and her jacket is brown. And I thought it was appropriate to print them in color because I thought I could make it work with some of the colors in the papers and the embellishments this month. And so I wanted to kind of give it a fall feel, and I felt like printing them in color would look better than black and white in this instance. And so I'm going to use some of the light pink cardstock from the cardstock kit and just coat a little bit of the area that I'm going to use mixed media on with white gesso. And I thought I would do a little something different with my design and kind of tilt the cut file over to the side on the bottom left area and kind of run it off the page. And I cut it on one of the Heidi Swapp Emerson Lane pattern papers from the main kit and the paper kit. So before I put anything else down as far as papers or photos, I'm going to come in with some shimmers from the color kits. And I'm also got a color or a couple of colors from previous color kits. The first color that I use there that's in the little pot, it's a really pretty pink color. It's called Good Old Summertime, and I just mixed that with a little bit of the Spritz Cotton Candy that we got a few months ago. And I just want the background to have some really pretty light colored watercolor splotchy areas on it so you can see it behind the cut file and around the pictures and everything. And because I'm not going to back the cut file since I cut it on pattern paper, I'm going to just let the background show through it. So I thought I would come in with some of the darker blue color, and the spray here that I'm using right there is from this month, and it is a Vibes, and it's called Deep Blue Sea. And I'm going to mix it in a little bit with the Creamies Ride the Tide that we got. Gosh, all these colors are blending together. I can't remember which month we got which ones, but they're all pretty recent in the last 4 or 5 months or so. And it's fun to blend these colors together because you get some really fun variations and different shades of the same color family. So I'm just kind of playing around. I'm using my little water spray bottle there to add a little bit of liquid to kind of allow the color to spread out a little bit more and blend together. And then where it pulls up, if I don't want it to blend, I'll just dab it up with a napkin there. And I've said this a lot lately, but it's definitely true. The gesso is what allows all of this color to run and blend and not soak right through the paper. It just kind of toughens up the paper. It provides a barrier between the paint and the paper, I guess you could say. And so it doesn't dry as fast, and it's not going to just soak right through, and you have time to blot it up or blend it with your brush or the plastic packaging or whatever it is you want to do. So I really love this pattern paper. It's got a chevron design on it, and I love all the different colors on it, but it was just a little too dark. So all I'm going to do here is take my white gesso and kind of lighten it up and just use my fingers and smudge some over it. And you're still going to be able to see the colors and a little bit of the pattern. There's some wood grain on there, and there's some green, some navy, and some pink areas. And I love all those colors together. And I just wanted to soften up the paper, I guess. And the gesso is really good about that. So now you can kind of see the difference there. And yeah, I'm going to kind of tilt the grateful piece over to the left and then put the photos to the right of it. This is another shimmers that we got not too long ago. It's called Minor 49er, and it's a gorgeous gold. Now I went ahead and glued down the grateful piece, and then off camera I stitched through all the letters using a navy blue thread. And I'm going to kind of cut off the edges there. And I just thought I would do something different. I would tilt it instead of doing it straight down the middle. I played around with the design for a while and thought about doing grateful, you know, right in the center of the layout, and then put a photo on the left and a photo on the right. But I don't know. I think it's because my photos are square this time. It didn't look even. I just didn't like the way it looked. And so I thought, I'll just kind of stick it over to the side and just use it as a background design and kind of overlap the photos together and on top of it. And I'm going to cover up, probably, I think the entire F is going to get covered up, but you can still tell what it says, and it's not necessarily going to be my title. I just kind of wanted to use it as something interesting on the background, and you can still see what it says, but because the theme this month or this week for all of the design team projects is gratitude or being thankful or family, something to do with Thanksgiving. And so I really like this cut file, and keep checking the website because it should be up very soon. And you can make it small, you can make it really big, you can back it with pattern papers, all kinds of ideas. So I'm using some of the project life cards as layers behind my pictures. I do that frequently because they are always the perfect colors and they match, and I love the patterns on them. And then I pulled out some of the Heidi Swap die cuts as well as some of the exclusive leaves, and I'm just going to play around with tucking things here and there. I'm going to do some florals and some leaves on each side of the photos. I'm going to use that little circle piece that says hello, and then I really wanted to use one of these really big metallic, it's like a soft matte metallic gold thickers, and I'm going to wind up using the one that says love that I just tried out there. And I love when we get matte gold things. It's so pretty to me, and I think it looks good with just about any color that you're using. And before I glue anything down, I'm going to add in some navy blue thread. That's the same thread that I used to stitch on the grateful letters. And the Heidi Swap die cuts are so cool because they're words. There are die cut pieces, there are, or made out, or die cut like paper pieces, but there's also die cut vellum pieces, is what I was trying to say. And I'm using one of the vellum florals over there on the right. It's a really pretty green. There is a pink one, there's a dark blue one, and it's just really cool because you get a variety of things. It's not all the same texture. You get paper, you get vellum, and then with the exclusive set, you get acetate. And there's a ton of those acetate leaves. You can see that little wreath over there on the left. I don't wind up using that, but I think it's so pretty. I am going to wind up pulling in some of the darker blue acetate leaves here in just a few minutes because they match the blue that I'm using here perfectly. And I used, on my last layout last week, I used some of the corally pink ones. And they look so pretty. They definitely look good on a white background, but they even look pretty on colored backgrounds. Like this background is light pink, and you'll see here what I'm talking about in just a second. I pulled the blue ones out over there on the left, and they look really good. Usually when you have an acetate piece that's colored like that, they tend to lose their true color if you put them on top of something that's another color. If you really want them to stand out and show their true colors, you want to put them on a white background. But in this case, I think these blue ones look really pretty on the pink. They might not look as good if you stuck them on a busy pattern paper because you wouldn't be able to see them. But I think on these light colored solids, they look really, really good. What am I doing now? I'm gluing down everything. I'm adding in some wood veneer. That's another exclusive this month, is that whole sticker sheet right there. And they're sticky. They have sticky on the back. That's awesome. I'm going to use a couple of the wooden tabs up at the top of my pictures. This little sheet of stickers here is also exclusive, and they're black clear stickers, and they're awesome because if you can read them from here, most of them are just generic words or phrases that you could use, any time of year, but there are some that are geared toward eating and Thanksgiving and dinner and things like that. But you could definitely make them stretch and use them for lots of other things. I wanted to add a pop of pink and another floral element over to the right photo, and so I just fussy cut one of those out from one of the Heidi Swap papers, and I'm going to stick it over there on the right. And then I really wanted to use this little clear sticker. It says thankful for ... since this was a layout about being thankful. And I'm not going to get too creative with the title. It's basically love this. I think I've probably used love this as a title so many times I've lost count, but it doesn't matter. There's so many things in these kits that the words are there, you know, and it's like, you might as well use those words if you can make them work. You know, don't spend hours trying to come up with a title. Sometimes I start with a title and I know right away what it's going to be. Sometimes I don't, and I just use what's there, and if it goes, that's great. And so, you know, I've got the grateful piece, so that could be part of the title. You see it when you look at the layout, and it's nice and large. But yeah, you can't go wrong with the word love. So anyway, I thought I would jazz up the top and the right side of the layout with a pattern paper. And I'm going to use this pattern paper here. I believe this is one of the exclusive papers. And it's like a navy and white gingham. And I just kind of sliced off some of the top and the right side there of my pink paper and ruffled it up with my edge distresser. And then I'm just going to stick it on down. And so you're going to be able to see this gingham paper peeking around the edges there, and I love that. I like doing that from time to time when I have a solid color excuse me, a solid color background that's got a lot of white space over on one side or one corner, and it just sort of adds some interest to it. And I did cut out the bulk of the background of that paper so I wouldn't waste it, because you can't see it anyway, and you never know when you might need a chunk of that paper for another project. Now I am going to do a little cluster up in this area here, and so many little things that I wanted to use from that Heidi Swap sticker sheet. And I want to echo the blue, the pink, and the green, and the gold, since those are my main colors. I did some stitching around the edges there on the top and the side with some metallic gold. And I'm just going to kind of curl the corner there over, just because I like the way that looks. And yeah, it just adds some fun texture and makes it look a little less perfect, because I like it to look kind of messy. So I cut another flower, and then I'm going to fussy cut. I didn't have any other of the green leaves. I think there were only 2 of the green leaves in that die cut set, and I've already used both of them. And then I found a third one on this 4x6 Project Life card, so I'm going to cut that out. So that gives me my pop of green. And then I've got my pop of blue with the leaf, except I'm going to use a different one. And then I'm going to use this little circle. It's really hard to see because it's very light, but it says Love Life. I'm going to tuck that in, because I discovered as I'm looking around that I've got a couple circle elements going on, so I thought I would add another circle up there and another one of the black clear stickers. And then that's going to be my third area where I add in the blue thread again. And I'm just going to tangle it up, make it kind of loopy and messy, and just stick it under there. And I am going to wind up bringing in another circle, because I got to looking at it and I've got a circle up there in the top cluster, a circle above the left photo, and I'm going to wind up adding in the little vellum circle that's over there to the left right there. This says Love This. I'm going to add that in. And so then I thought I needed another circle somewhere on the bottom half of the layout. So I'm going to make one here in just a second. So I'm going to punch out a piece of this Project Life wood grain card here, and then I'm going to cut out one of these XOs and just kind of create my own little embellishment there. I didn't have another circle. I looked through all the embellishments and all the papers, and I couldn't find another circle element. And so when all else fails, just make one, and it looks like a little embellishment. So I'm going to use that. And now I've got plenty of circles. I'm going to use my T-square ruler here to just draw some lines. I wrote in my journaling. And the last thing I'm going to do is add some more splatters. I'm going to come in with the blue, the deep blue sea color, and the I believe the cotton candy color, and the minor 49er, and that is it. I didn't have to stamp my date because I used one of the Heidi Swap date label stickers there, but that's the final layout. And it was a weird lighting day today, so hopefully the colors don't look too weird. I couldn't get the perfect lighting today. Just some days it's great and some days it's hard to get good lighting. But anyway, here are the close-ups. I hope you enjoyed this. This was fun to make. I really love that cut file. It sort of just kind of helped my layout come together once I decided where it was going to go. And yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying your kits. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will be more than happy to answer. So I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I will see you in my next video. Hope you have a great Thanksgiving also.